Hi fam, thanks for watching. I want to come on today and do my review of Black Monday Season 1, Episode 3. It was not on last week because of the Super Bowl, so I wasn't on here. And you have to forgive my voice. I've been sick, I'm getting over it. And let's get right into it, okay? So this episode starts out showing at the beginning that first they're at 334 days till Black Monday. Remember, on the very first episode, they showed that basically the suicide that took place there was on the actual Black Monday, and then we zipped into a year before then, which is where the season began. Okay? So it begins with a whole team in Mo's office, and they're playing Nintendo. And the game they're playing on the Nintendo is Duck Hunt, okay? So Mo is standing up at the TV with a gun about to shoot, and on the side barrel of the gun, down the side, he has a line of coke, and he is snorting that shit up before he takes his aim at the duck. Like, that's how rampant the coke runs in this office. It's so crazy because they're all high. Anyway, they're having a good time, but while they're in there, Mo is literally asking them, how do I get close enough to Blair to basically be able to stab him in the back? You know, they all know that he's using Blair, you know, for the gene stocks, basically, and he's trying to figure out how to get in further with Blair so that he can align himself to where he's set up and, you know, to do what he needs to do to get that money. All right? So he's talking to them, and they're trying to suggest certain things. Of course, they're all dumb because they're high on coke. So Regina King's character is actually in the office, and you know, she's just telling him, hello, find something common ground. It's not hard. Talk to somebody. Okay? So Mo actually decides he's going to take him out to VIP clubs, you know, which of course he has access to, which Blair is not at all privy to. So he figures he'll impress him in this manner. All right? So then we have Regina's character again. She stands up, basically trying to quiet all the children in the room because she's actually trying to discuss business. They are, in fact, at work, okay? So she advises all of them in the room to have friends and family to take over their shares until they need them back. Basically, they need to wipe their hands of these shares as far as the paper trail goes by giving them to a friend or family member, but they need to trust that person enough to where they can get them back when they need them. These are some sneaky tactics by these fools, some illegal tactics, okay? Okay. So at the end of them playing this game, Mo decides he wants to give Blair the Nintendo itself. And Keith is like, wait, what? You're going to give him that Nintendo? Little did Mo know that Keith had planned to give that to his son because the next day is his son's bar mitzvah. And that was a gift he was going to give to him. Let me see. Blair's fiance, we switch over to Blair, who's at home with his fiance, and she's pushing him to get a promotion, even though he's only been there for like 2 weeks. She's pushing him towards promotion, and at first, you know, he's not feeling it, but the more he listens to her, because she has a way with him, he decides he agrees with her, and part of the reason for her is she wants a trash compactor. She wants a trash compactor. It's like a big deal to her. As we know, she's rich, okay? Her family is anyway. And the one thing Blair cannot stand is that when she takes money from her father, you know, he thinks this is our home. I'm the breadwinner out here doing my thing, getting my algorithm better so that I could actually apply it. And I don't want you running to daddy for money. Let me see. Okay, so from here, we go to Mo actually taking Blair out, VIP club thing he was talking about. And they're out in Mo's ugly-ass sports limo car. This thing looks like a box on wheels. It looks like it's supposed to be like a Ferrari, but it's stretched. Hell, even back then the Ferraris were boxy looking, but it's like 10 times worse limo style, okay? So they're out doing their thing. And then we go to Keith, who is actually out with his boy toy. Yes, Keith is on the down low, okay? So he has a wife at home with his child, but he prefers to sleep with men, All right. And he has one in particular that he's extra sweet on. And he's out with him, basically living up the good life in bed with his boyfriend at his boyfriend's house. He actually calls his wife, smoothing her over for more time. You know, that way he can have it with his boyfriend. And let me see. The boy is actually pushing Keith to divorce his wife because he doesn't want to be the side man, the side piece. He wants to be the main man, okay? Keith isn't with this because, of course, not only is he a straight white man, he's Jewish, okay? And that is 100% unacceptable, especially way back then, you know, to be gay. Let me see. Dawn, who Regina Hall's character is, that's her name, Dawn. Her and her husband are at home, and they're having dinner with Dawn's parents. So her mother and father are there with them. And her mom gives her what she refers to as, it's a Nefertiti painting. Her mom is an artist, and she does these paintings. And this painting, it's beautiful and it's strange because it's, you know, a dark-skinned black woman with a big afro, and she's like naked and she's breastfeeding a white baby. Like, it's strange upon strange. It's just strange. I can't say that I would ever have this type of painting in my house. And you can tell that Dawn feels the same way too, because later on they show her adding this to the collection of the art that her mother has given to her in the back of her closet. Okay. So they're having a nice time with the dinner with the in-laws. Let me see. She goes to make an announcement, and she wants to tell everybody, basically, she has news to share. And all three of them in unison are like, oh my God, you're pregnant. Oh my God. They're so excited. And she's like, well, no, I'm a partner. And they're like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm a partner. That's my big news. And they're like, really? Her husband's like, can we be pregnant on that too? And she's like, first off, I hate it when men say we. When I get pregnant, I'll be pregnant, but we are not going to be pregnant. And her mom basically ends up having to stand up for her because this is a moment that she wants to be very happy about, but it's like, excuse me, everybody else would like her to be pregnant instead. And her mom's is letting them know this is the 80s and she can live how she wants. She can have kids when she wants to, if she wants to. You know, it's her right. It's her choice. Let me see. From there, we zoom to Mo and Blair, who are out and about. And they actually end up at what looks like a movie or a show. And they're sitting in the audience, kind of a small audience, and they're talking. And Blair actually ends up asking Mo, you know, what are we seeing again? And Mo tells him, oh, yeah, it's Death of a Salesman. So we then see the blinds opening up, and they, in fact, have a man being killed. They're at an execution, okay? This is the show that Mo took Blair to, real talk. Full-on execution. Blow is freaked the fuck out because he can't believe we're here, okay? So then they go out to eat, and they're at a very high-scale restaurant, and Mo is actually telling Blair, I don't even look at the menu, I just ordered the most expensive thing on there. And the next thing they show is the waiter bringing them each what looks like, it looks like raw meat. It looks like patties of raw meat, well seasoned, and then he's cracking an egg open inside of the raw meat. So we got raw meat, we got raw egg, that's the meal that he's paying for. And Blair is trying to fit in, you know, so he takes a bite and he's up chucking this stuff. He can't do it. And Mo agrees. So they end up getting out of there. And Blair shares with him this burger joint that's in his neighborhood that he's actually wanted to try, but his wife's vegetarian. So Mo agrees to take him there. Okay. All right, from there. Okay, so we show, well, I'm sorry, at this point we show Keith, who has now gone home, left his boy toy, gone home to the wife, and he's waking her up. And he is actually trying to get her to sign his shares that he needs to get rid of. But she is not agreeing. She's not stupid, okay? She don't know what's going on, but she know it ain't right. So basically she realizes that he doesn't have the Nintendo with him. She's like, well, where's the Nintendo? And he's like, well, I left it at the office for safety. And she's like, I'll tell you what. You go get the Nintendo and bring it home and I'll sign your little papers, okay? And he's like, fine. Okay, I'll go. I'll bring it back. So he ends up leaving. And then we shoot back over to Mo and Blair. And they're at the burger joint that Blair had told Mo about. And Mo is lying out of his ass telling Blair, like, yeah, I know that burger joint. You know, I grew up around the corner from there. An adoption agency where I grew up and was around the corner from there. And I used to go there all the time. So they show up at this burger joint. And the guy who owns it comes out and he's greeting them. And Mo is offering him $100 bill immediately. And the guy's like, I don't have change for this. And he's like, have I ever asked for change? Mo is really trying to play off the fact that he's been to this restaurant before. And it's really obvious that he hasn't. But of course, the owner's not stupid. He's taking the $100 bill. Hello, we need the money too, okay? So basically, Mo and Blair sitting there talking. And to the owner, Mo even asks him, were you here when Dolly Parton was here? Because, of course, there's a picture of Dolly Parton on the wall. And the owner's like, yeah, of course, that was a wild night. And so they're just talking, and the owner ends up bringing them out, you know, plates of real burger, real fries, and they're just having a good time, basically. And when they get up to leave, Mo is asking the owner about his wife and his son, and he's actually using names. And basically they're leaving, and when Mo picks his jacket up, it basically says that this restaurant was established back in 1984. Just a couple years prior to this, okay? So basically, Mo's been lying all the time, and it's for sure giveaway to us audience there because they're showing us this sign, but Blair doesn't see it. Anyway, after they leave, the people around the owner are like, who is the woman's name and the son's name that he was asking about? And the owner's like, I don't care, and he's flashing the $100 bill. That's all he cares about, because if I got to play like I know this fool to get $100, I'm going to do it, okay? So anyway, Mo and Blair end up, while they were there, Blair had asked Mo, how do you have energy to do all the stuff you do in the day? And you go out, you know, how do you do this? And Mo's like, Coke. I do Coke. And he's like, you want some? And Blair's like, I'm not sure about that. And no, I'm sorry, Blair asks Mo, well, can I have some? And he's like, I don't think you can handle it. And Blair's like, I don't think you know what I can handle. Hello. So, Mo gives him a line of Coke, and Blair's immediately like, whoa, he's zoom, okay, got that Coke high. All right, so they end up leaving there, and they're out in that ugly-ass sports limo car, living it up. They're drinking, they got people in the car, they go out to the club. They are out literally all night long, okay? And when they get to Blair's house in the morning, you know, Mo is dropping him off there, and as a total, oh my gosh, I forgot to ask you, Blair's like, can I have a promotion? And he goes into this whole spiel about why he deserves it. And Mo's like, you know what? Yeah, fine, whatever. Have the promotion. So Blair's happy. And he gets up and he's, you know, getting out of the car and walking off. And Mo, in hindsight, is like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to give this to you. He picks up the Nintendo out of the car and throws it onto the sidewalk there right in front of Blair. Broke the whole thing up in one swift motion. Okay, boom, broken Nintendo. And Blair's just like, okay. So he goes into his house and he's going to share, you know, with his fiance. Of course, he got this big promotion. It's a big deal. Only to walk into the house and find the trash compactor, a new refrigerator, a new blender, and he is pissed, okay, highly pissed. Because what does she do? She went and got daddy's money and used that to purchase something which he's already stated he hates. Okay, so him and her get into this big wicked fight. And then from there, let's see. Excuse me, I got all these note cards all mixed up. Let me see. Okay, so then we shoot over to Dawn at her house, and they show her having her husband sign the paperwork. So he's agreed to take the shares in his name, which of course she did also offer to her mother, but her mother basically told her no. And her mother basically told her that this is a good business and you could do better than this and blah, 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 blah. So Blair is like depressed at this point, even though she got her husband, you know, to of course sign for them. It's like her mother's words are seeping in, okay? So they show her depressed and she's in her bathroom and she snorts a little coke, all right? Then the next thing that we're showing, or that we're able to see there, is the Bar Mitzvah, okay? So Keith's son's Bar Mitzvah bat mitzvah is taking place there. And he shows up late as hell. Like, literally, his son is doing the whole speech thing, you know, that they have to do in the other language. And he walks in, and him and his wife end up going at it literally in the middle of the ceremony. Quite embarrassing. And she's pissed at him. And, of course, Mo and Don and, you know, a couple of their other buddies from work are there because it's his son's big day. And, you know, he's invited all of them. And the next thing they show is his son opening presents. And he got a board game. And then right at this point, Don is asking Mo about, asking all of them basically, did you guys get rid of your shares? And everyone's like, yeah. And Mo's not saying anything. And she's like, Mo, did you get rid of your shares? And he's like, hold on a second, hold on. Well, the next thing that Keith's son is opening is a gift from Mo with a folder with his shares in it. And Keith is like, it's my son, what are you doing? And he's like, I know. They're all standing back there cracking up because now they got this son and some illegal share shit going on from it. They are such a hot ass mess, y'all. I mean, if you are not watching this show, you definitely are missing out, okay? All right, so from there, Keith's son is asking him, where is Mr. Metz? For those of you not familiar with Mr. Metz, such as myself, apparently this is the mascot for New York baseball team. So it's literally a guy that's dressed up like a baseball player with a big old baseball uniform. Gosh, it's a big old baseball that's huge over his head he wears. He's entertaining, he skates, he dances, he does his thing. Little did we know that the guy who is Mr. Metz was Keith's boy toy that he left back there. He basically dogged him because of the whole didn't want to leave my wife to be with you kind of thing. And he ended up showing there. He ended up doing an excellent job and ultimately reinforcing Keith's feelings for him. So after he does his performance, Keith is following him outside and basically telling him, thank you so much. You did an excellent job. And in my crazy world, you're the only person that I wouldn't want to live without being in it, basically. It's a real sweet gesture he made. And basically, he's asking his boy toy, do you want to sign for these shares, basically, because I need someone to do so because she wouldn't. And the guy is like, yeah, I actually would, you know. Not just because of how I feel about you, but because I could use some money too. Hello, I'm not trying to dress up as Mr. Metz for life. So basically, that's where we leave off with this episode. It was very quick, one thing after another, as usual with the show. Of course, funny. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you like my videos, hit the like button, okay? Become a subscriber. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.